bilateral stimulation and some vagus nerve toning. Rub the shoulders, massage the shoulders. You're going to start to alternate the eye movements and then shifting the hands into an earlobe massage. Let's dive into some bilateral stimulation and some vagus nerve toning to soften into safety. Welcome to Monday Movements. I'm going to take you through a somatic practice for the nervous system, coming off the back end of last week's episode where we talked about the psychosomatics behind any presentations within the nervous system. So if you missed that episode, make sure you take a look back at that one so you have some context before we move forward into the practice today. But let's get started. I'm going to take you through the 4 steps that are going to allow you to create this practice for yourself and redo it in your own space and time so you don't feel rushed when you actually start to put it into practice. For the most part, this video is going to be more of like an instructional video. You can still go through it and do it with me and experience it with me as I go through it, but I do recommend that you write it down based on the instructions I pop in the caption below, and then try it in your own space and time once you're familiar with it, so that the body doesn't feel rushed and it feels safe, which is the whole point of a somatic practice. So let's get into it. We're going to start with step 1, just anchoring into the physical body. And we're going to start with shoulder taps and alternating eye movements. So just hugging either side of the shoulders, making yourself feel nice and calm. You might want to just gently rub the shoulders, massage the shoulders, and we're going to soften the gaze or close down the eyes and just bring awareness to the body by anchoring into the breath, taking 3 big breaths in and out, nice and slow. Feeling the support of your shoulders, breathing in and out. Feeling your body anchor into the exhales, breath in, one more. And out, arriving into this space, noticing the physical touch of your hands on your shoulders. We're going to start to tap rhythmically with one of the fingers on either side of the shoulders, or you can use all fingers like this. And we're just going to get into a rhythm. Don't get too attached to my rhythm, just do a rhythm that feels right for you. And just take your awareness to this rhythm. As the mind starts to wander, we start to get distracted by outside noises, just keep bringing your awareness back to this sensation of the tapping on either side, back to that rhythm. Then once you feel like you're dropped into that rhythm, you've had a few moments to really arrive into that rhythm, you're going to start to alternate the eye movements in a coordination with the tapping. So as I tap onto my right shoulder, my eyes are going to gaze right. As I tap onto my left shoulder, they're going to gaze left. And my eyes are going off the stimulus of each tap. They're not thinking about and anticipating which way they're going to be moving. They're purely going off the stimulus of the tapping, which by now you should have a great rhythm. So continuing that tapping and eye movement back and forth, coming into rhythm with the eye movements as well now. Just letting that settle. Allowing that to bring full presence to your body, to the fact that you are safe here in this moment. And then we're going to shift into some toning for the vagus nerve. Once you feel ready and anchored in through that tapping and the bilateral stimulus and the eye movements, we should feel nice and safe and present now. We're going to start to massage the back of the skull, so bringing our hands to our occiput. And then after that, once we feel settled, we're just going to cradle the back of the skull. So creating gentle forward traction with the elbows and the forearms, letting our arms rest forward. And then resting the head back into the hands. Creating this sense of nurturing and release and safety as your head relaxes into your hands here. And then shifting the hands into an earlobe massage. This is also a great way to stimulate the vagus nerve. You can also apply a gentle traction on the earlobes, a downward traction. So just resting the arms down, allowing the weight of the arms to drop slightly. Obviously be careful if you have some earrings. You don't want to pull on those. And then you can start to circle the ears. So moving your hands up towards more of the cartilage area than the lobes and start circulating. Just at the bottom of the cartilage of the ears, below the opening of the ear hole there. Start circulating in one direction. And then circulating in the other direction. And then coming down to a pause, resting the hands down by the sides, softening the gaze or closing down the eyes, and dropping in and anchoring into a diaphragmatic breath. So breathing into all sides of the stomach, forwards, side ribs, back. And then exhaling, contracting the stomach. Gently tractioning up with the diaphragm. Breathing in, relaxing the diaphragm, allowing the stomach, the side ribs, the back to expand fully in all directions. And exhaling, diaphragm contracts, abdomen contracts in. 2 more for me, breathing in, expanding in all directions, and then out, contracting inwards. And with this awareness on the breath, keeping yourself anchored in that diaphragmatic breath, we're going to move into some mental body inquiry. So starting to notice through the mind, what temperature or weight do you feel in the body? What sensations do you feel in the body? Perhaps you notice a headache or jaw tension. Perhaps you notice a tummy gurgle or tingling in the hands or feet. Just giving your body space to scan, to arrive and start scanning over the body, noticing where you feel stimulus and what stimulus in the body is the most loud right now. Bringing awareness to that loudest sensation, and then with the breath, bringing the breath on the inhale into that area of the body where you feel the sensation. And then exhale, inviting that sensation to release. One more time, big breath in, awareness to that sensation, and then exhale, inviting it to release. You can keep doing this a couple more times if you wish. And then from there, just noticing what shifts with the longer exhale. So lengthening the exhales, inviting that stimulus, that sensation to release. Noticing what shifts or what stays stagnant and resists, perhaps. But just keeping that breath anchored to that sensation, noticing where it moves, shifts, evolves, or where it stays stagnant, and just witnessing that sensation. And then beginning to inquire, if my nervous system could make one request, what would it be? Letting that land. If my nervous system could make one request, what would it be? You might want to place your hands on your heart to ask yourself this. If my nervous system could make one request, what would it be? We're dropping into that desire, that feeling sensation of the emotional body now. Does the nervous system crave space, warmth, support? Does the heart crave space, warmth, and support? The emotional body. And if the body responds in a way that does want more comfort, more warmth, more sense of safety, take the time to provide this for your body. It might look like grabbing a blanket for warmth, or rearranging your position on the couch or the bed or the floor into a more safe position. Often fetal position is something that people like to move into. Giving yourself as much time as you need to feel into what feels safe and how you can move with your body to make it feel safe. And then we're going to bring the practice to a close by ending on a vibrational frequency, beginning with vocalizing the universal sound of peace, Om. So prepare to breathe, breathing in, and vocalizing on the breath out, Om. vibration to tone the vagus nerve, to calm the nervous system. And then you can end with the incantation, I am safe enough to soften here. Starting to ground back into the space now. Begin looking around at objects in the space you are in. Pause and name one of them. This is what we call object orienting. And do this 5 times. Look at 4 more objects and name them. Just take your time to return to the present moment. Give your body and your nervous system the space that it needs. I hope you enjoy this practice when you put it into play for yourself in a time where you have more space and less pressure. Let me know how you go if you do put this into practice and you get something out of it in the comments below. I'll see you next week for the next Monday Movement Series episode.